Hey there, this is Real Talk Baseball. I'm College Baseball. With me, as always, is Willpower. And damn, I started all messed up. This is the first show of 2022, and I'm over here messing up. I'm really nervous, dude. How's it going, Will?
It's going. It's going. I'm a little worried about the baseball season starting on time, but you know, I I, I think everything's gonna land okay, and I think even though spring training might not start on time, I think we're still gonna get our 162 games with an expanded playoffs, like everyone's kind of expecting so far. So I'm still being optimistic.
You're sounding like Manfred right now, man. He's being optimistic, and I don't know, dude. I feel like it's not going to start on time. Pitchers and catchers supposed to report next week, and it is not even close to a deal yet. And it's getting kind of where fans are really not paying attention because of football. Like all this football commotion going on, there was nothing but great games of playoffs. Like I know we're a baseball podcast, but I mean, come on, you got to put like NFL right now, like it's just up there. Their playoff games were like off the chain. Like all the games were really good. They're really intense. And the theme of football, I have to put my football jersey up. Bobby Boucher back there. So like, dude, it's just if baseball does decide to stay on the lockdown and not even continue to negotiate, I feel like they're going to lose a lot of fans. Where I felt like they were getting a lot of fans because of the pandemic. No one else. I mean, people didn't have anything else to watch. So, baseball was one of the first sports to start back up. So they gained momentum again. And 2021 started again with a full season. Braves won it. We got to give them a big ups because they are the champs. It's not the 2020 anymore, but 2021 champs, Braves. Yeah. So I feel like maybe if that does happen where the baseball season doesn't start on time, I think it's going to affect it, man, because right after football, what's next? There's basketball, but I don't know. I feel there's a lot of fans that are kind of like in limbo, so baseball doesn't start. I feel like they're going to lose a lot of fans, and, they want to implement a lot of new things. I know there's 3 new things that is going to happen for 2022. If the 2022 season does start, you want to go ahead and name them?
Yeah, the big thing that everyone's been talking about for years now is that the American League has always had the DH. Not always, but since they implemented the DH, it's always been just American League, and the National League has always had the pitchers hit when their time comes in the batting order. And it looks like that's about to change in 2022, man. The owners are all for it, and most of the players are all for it as well. And the whole point of having the universal DH is just to keep all the pitchers healthy. That they have enough wear and tear on their bodies, throwing 90 plus for almost 100 pitches every time they go out there. It's a lot of wear and tear on the body, and then going out there and hitting in the batting lineup every 9th time that they would come around. It increases their chances of getting hurt. And, most pitchers are just horrible hitters. They don't focus on hitting. They focus on their craft, on their main craft, which is pitching. They're developing their pitching every time they go out there, whether it's trying to increase velocity or trying to increase break on some of their pitches, or whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish in their pitching craft. And batting is just always kind of second to them, maybe not even second, maybe it's 3rd or 4th, just these guys just need to stay healthy. And we saw before, like Madison Bumgarner, he got hit on the wrist by a pitch, and he misses 3 months of the season.
Well, not only that, he got injured in the motorcycle accident too.
Oh yeah, the dirt bike.
Well,
see, one of the things too is
before we continue, Will, I didn't mean to cut you off since you started talking about pitching and resting and all that. I know you mentioned something about the MLB is not going to test baseball players starting December 1st, 2021, right? So they haven't been tested since, and they're going to continue not to get tested until they go ahead and get a new agreement. So for those of you that know about baseball, baseball has been really known for being a sport where players are using steroids. So right now, I think those pitchers that are getting tired every 4th, every 5th day, I think it's time to use steroids.
I think there's a lot of guys.
There's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot.
The main guy that comes to mind in my head when I think of pitchers that could possibly start juicing is Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole is the number one pitcher off the board in most fantasy leagues now because Jacob deGrom is just his injury history is just kind of catching up to him. But, since Garrett Cole is going number one overall, everyone kind of reveres him as the best pitcher in baseball right now. And, last year we saw a down season from Garrett Cole. His velocity dropped a little bit. The break dropped a little bit. The RPMs on all of his pitches just it dropped quite a bit, actually. He wasn't performing as well as we've seen him pitch. When he was the ace of the Houston Astros, when they won the World Series, and 2018 when he was amazing. That's the kind of Garrett Cole that we would love to see again. And I think that if he has a chance to possibly, get an edge over all these other batters that he's going to be
edge
facing.
though? What's the edge? Just say what the edge is, man. Come on.
That would be anabolic steroids for the
win. Don't be scared to say it, man. What the hell? Like, there's a lot of people that, it's known around the league that people use different drugs to get. Come on, you're playing every day. You're playing 162 games. And I don't know anybody that's an Iron Man. Like, it's unheard of.
There's no Cal Ripkins anymore.
No, exactly. Is anybody going to break that record? I don't think so.
I think the one guy that I can think of that played basically every single game for the longest time was Joey Vada. Joey Vada was notorious for playing 162 games. I think he went like 3 or 4 years in a row that he played every single game. And, since then he's a little bit older now, so he obviously is not going to play every day, but maybe the DH being introduced into the National League, that could really help a lot of players playing production, coming into the 2022 season. Look at guys like Bryce Harper, that have some injury history, that just won the MVP in 2021. He has a chance where instead of playing 155 games, he's going to play 162, instead of getting a day off, once every few weeks or so, he'll just swing the bat and not have to worry about running around in right field.
But still, man, I think, have you seen his swing? It's super, like, I don't know. It looks like it's really, really
wild.
It's wild. He puts a lot of effort into it, like a lot of muscle. Like, oh my God, a lot of energy.
To hit the ball as hard as he can. And
yeah,
it works though.
Every at bat. And he still bats, like, he bats around the 300 area, like, and he hits 30 plus home runs.
He hits a lot of line drives though. His line drive rate is out of control. He
really
doesn't hit a lot of balls on the ground. And that's really what makes him, what kind of sets him apart from a lot of other players out there.
Oh, cool. Well, let's go to the message board. We have Javi saying, what up, man? Go Dodgers, I guess. Yeah, go Dodgers. We have,
he sees your LA hat and my Brooklyn Dodgers hat. That's probably
that's what it is. Okay. Yeah, I have the world champs right here. We'll talk about the Pod Classic right now, about in the Sunday League podcast, what they did and what we did and how we did in that fantasy baseball. But let's go ahead and give shout out to Tony Snap. He's over there messaging us like, what's up, man? I wish you were here, but you're over there. I'm pretty sure you're on traffic, man. So hurry up and try to get on. Fresh Gaming, new logo, looks cool. Like, thanks, man. We like that. We we put our heads together and came up with that, right, Will? So Will did all the graphics. I just drew it up, and he's like, no.
Yeah,
I do it on the thing.
It's funny because you sent me the drawing in pencil, the sketch in pencil, and I'm like, okay. I guess we're updating our logo. So then I get on this app and I'm starting to try to make your drawing come to life, and it actually came out pretty cool. I think, man, it did for like a 1 day project. Why not? Yeah, I mean, it only took me a few hours, so it wasn't too bad. And then, me and you were going back and forth, tweaking little things here and there, adding the ribbon. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it is fun. It's fun when you're doing it together and trying to get it to work, when you love doing something. Like, we like doing the podcast because we like talking about baseball and sports in general. Like, it's fun. And then fantasy baseball, which there's no fantasy baseball if there's no baseball, right? So we're pulling and we hoping that this deal does get done because we want to see some baseball. We're tired of what's next after football. Like, is there anything that we should be watching? I mean, yeah, I can get into basketball, but I get into basketball in playoff season, and to be honest, if the Lakers aren't in it, I don't think I watch. So I'm just being honest. And if there's nothing to watch, it's like, what am I doing? So yeah, hopefully they get that deal going. Another thing you didn't mention, Will, like it's the electronic strike zone, which is going to be implemented in AAA. So I don't know if you guys in the message board, if you guys watching, do you agree with an electronic strike zone? Disagree? Like, I want to hear your thoughts. Like, I honestly don't like the electronic strike zone because I feel like human instinct and calling the strike and calling the ball. I think it's something that has been, part of the game. I don't think it's something that needs to be replayed. Maybe a check swing maybe needs to get replayed. But then again, it's a rule that's kind of like, it's vague. It's open to interpretation, right? We all remember the call on the Giants and the Dodgers won that series. And I mean, most Dodger fans are going to hate me for this, but I don't think he went around, so he didn't. The umpire just called it and the game was over. But as a baseball fan, it wasn't a strike. And I think that could have been called a review, like, hey, you throw a flag or whatever, and then review it. Please review it. He didn't have no intent of swinging or anything, but he still called it a strike. So, I mean, do you agree with that, or you have a different opinion, Will?
I completely agree. I think that if they are, I think that I'm all for the electronic strike zone, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. I think it's because the umpires just aren't held accountable enough for a lot of their mistakes that they make. There's so many guys that go out there and they make numerous mistakes almost every single time they go out there. How many times have we talked about Angel Hernandez? Just
my God,
the low quality of umpiring that guy does when he's out there. It's like, if I see that guy behind the plate and my Dodgers are up there and he keeps on calling them out on strikes that are outside the zone, and then the next team comes up and then he's calling balls outside the zone, and then they get a walk where we get a strikeout, like that's the thing that pisses me off. So if MLB or if the Umpires Association, if the veterans, whoever is in charge of that, if they're not going to be holding these guys accountable, then yeah, I think we do need that electronic strikes zone, because I can't trust these guys to make the right calls. If they're consistent, if they call everything in one spot, whether it's a ball or a strike, if they just call it what it is, whatever it is in their head, and they keep it the same, for the whole game, then that's fine. I am completely fine with that. If it's an inch below the strike zone and they call it a strike, if they call it for one player and they call it for another player throughout the whole game, then great. But the problem is these guys are just so inconsistent, where they have,
but they're human. They're human.
Exactly. They're human. It's human error, which is why we have instant replay. So that way we can correct human error. But we can't have instant replay on every ball that's outside the strike zone.
So I got a scenario for you. Then. If we're against each other on this topic, and I like I like that we're not agreeing on this, because if you look at electronic strike zone, in my perspective, you're only going to get strikes on that plate. That plate is small, dude. Come on. These guys are 6'6" tall. And like, look at Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is just like on top of that home plate. You're not going to be able to throw any like strikes unless it's on that, plate. That plate is what, 16 inches? Come on.
Yeah, but I mean,
you're not even going to get that little call an inch away from the plate, because he's going to, come on. You're not going to get it called. So if you're just looking at that little, frame that's there, I think, yeah, hitting's going to go up, and what is it? The average for pitchers are just going to keep going up. We're not going to see any ace pitchers anymore.
I mean, you're giving an example of an extreme, a guy that's 6'7".
I'm just giving an example of any hitter. I'm just saying,
right,
like,
but
I get there and
how many
judge because I
batters
wanted to
are
show
there
off my
that are
big head.
actually 6'7"? And how many batters are there that are like Jose Altuve that's only 5'6"?
But that guy has a 40-inch bat, man. It could get all the way over
But that's one guy. How many hitters? The most hitters in MLB are between 6'2" and 6'4". And there's a lot too there's a lot that are a little bit shorter, a lot that are a little bit taller, but there's very few that are a lot shorter and very few that are a lot taller.
But
so
those
you go
fewer
for the majority.
players under 6 foot are really good. Just to say, Mookie Betts is 5'10".
Yeah, and
and getting paid. Mike Trout is probably 6 foot.
6'1", I think.
Yeah. So
Justin Turner is 5'11".
Exactly.
There's a lot of guys that are not in that particular realm, but
yeah, we got off topic. Get going with the strike zone. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
I just think that if the electronic strike zone, the ball doesn't necessarily have to be between the plate, as long as the ball catches the plate. It could be just like the outside seams and it catches the black. It's still a called strike.
Yeah.
So it's a 16-inch plate, but really you have about 3 inches on each side that it could still be called a strike. So you're really playing with about 24 inches. 24 inches is a pretty big amount of gap where a guy can get their bat through the zone to swing it.
Well, we'll see what happens with that, man, because there's a lot of people that agree and disagree. And, that's good. We had this discussion because I'm one of those that we should put it on Instagram and see who wants it and who doesn't. And we'll put the poll here and see if the people agree with me or they agree with Will. I'm old fashioned, so I want to keep it old fashioned. And the game, I know the game is changing. And then some of them are changing for the better of the game. But I think we should just do that. Will, I think we should put it on Instagram.
But like I said, I wouldn't mind keeping the umpires back there as
they are going to be back there. So the way it's going to work,
right. Yeah. But what I mean is like calling the balls and strikes, on their own, as long as they are more held accountable for. There's too many guys that are just making too many mistakes. There's a lot of umpires that are really, really good. Those aren't the guys that we're worried about. We're worried about, the 10 other guys that are just, one just retired. We don't have to worry about Joe West anymore because everyone knows that in his heyday, he was great. But now the dude can barely move his eyes, I think he can barely talk. He's done, man. And thank God, good riddance. He's been in the league a long time. And much respect to the guy for being in the league since, back in the day when there were American League umpires and National League umpires and holding the shields and no face masks, Yep. So much respect to that guy, but I'm glad to see him retire.
Yep. So let's get that poll going, see what happens and see who wins, and we'll put it on the next show. Let's go ahead and talk about fantasy baseball since we already got the news out of the way. And why not? Why not talk about fantasy baseball? Will has some exciting news for you guys. And if you're watching, because we are going to give out the what is it, Will? The 3 pitchers, 3 hitters outside 200. So I'm ready to listen to this because I want to get, I want to win a fantasy baseball. I've won the football one and I've never won a baseball one. Like, what the hell? But before we start that, you guys notice that we have a shirt that, we're matching, I guess. We're what is it, twin brothers today because we're wearing the same shirt. World Pod Classic. Guess who won that one? I think we did, right?
Yeah, that would be the fantasy gurus over here, the guys at Real Talk Baseball.
I can't play We Are the Champions because it's copyright, but if we could, I would
go ahead and sing it. You got some musical background.
So Tony Snap's not here. He was part of that group, and we have another person that's gonna get introduced into our podcast. We just don't want to go ahead and do it without him being here because we want to make it official. And if you're hearing out there, like, we're not going to say your name, we're not going to say who you are until you pop up into this podcast. And there's going to be 4 of us now, not all the time, but we're going to be, mixing it up so we can have more information for you guys. I feel like when we have more information, and different people on the show, I feel like it gets better because not all of us think the same. And some may think that, like Tony Snap he likes to take a risk and he likes to trade players. And if a player's not working out for him, he's like he gets upset and he's stirring up the pot. So that's the way he is, and then Will is different. He likes to, I don't know, man. How do you play? You play different than
I play it a little bit safe. I don't really go. I'm not a big risk taker. Sometimes in the draft, I am a bit of a risk taker, but throughout the season, the guy that I did take the risk on, a lot of times I'm trying to trade him away to try to get a player that I have a little bit more trust in, which is why I was really down on Tatis. Everyone knew I was down on Tatis last year. I even said before the season started, there's no way that this guy should be going in the first round. I was completely wrong. And that happens. Tatis was one of the greatest players last season, scoring a bunch of points and hitting home runs and stealing bases and scoring runs and RBIs. And he even missed a lot of time with 3 different injuries that he was dealing with.
More than that. I think it was
three significant injuries.
And then the shoulder popped. I don't know if it
popped. The shoulder popped once in his backswing. Swung a little.
But miraculously, he came back for the Dodgers series. Can you believe that? Oh my god! So that's a conspiracy there.
Yeah, no coincidence there, right?
None. Well, I want to give a shout out to the Sunday League podcast because they went ahead and made this World Podcast Classic, which is something that I think it was really cool. It was 16 teams. It was 16 baseball podcasts. So it kind of started a little network, and we're part of that network. So we just want to give you a big, thumbs up for doing that. And they send us that cup right there with the beer where Will, is just displaying. I hate you for that. Yeah, I wish I had that right here.
I don't know if you guys can see this on the video.
I think you can.
It says Real Talk Baseball 2021 World Pod Classic Champions.
I think they want you to chug, right? You need to go ahead and put some beer in it and
man.
Just chug it. You're the one that has it. You're the one that has it. Go have to do it.
They sent me a care package, not just the trophy, but I also got this really cool bottle opener that has an inscription: Real Talk Baseball 2021 Champion World Pod Classic, hosted by Sunday League, the podcast. Yep. And it's actually made from a wooden bat. So that's actually really cool. I think you got one too, Carlos.
All 3 of us got it. All 3 of us got that and the shirt. So like I said, I just want to give a big thank you to you guys. Not just for the gifts, but creating this podcast, and we're the first champs. So I think if you guys continue this, I think we're going to be part of that history, which we were the first champs, and hopefully we continue to win more.
Yeah, that'd be amazing, man.
We'll be the Brazil of baseball.
You didn't mention about that league, that particular league, is it's a categories league. So Tony and I did the draft together. He's more of a. Yeah, I wish you could have logged in a little bit more though, but they only allow 2 people to log in at the same time. Yeah. But that Tony's more of like the points league specialist. I'm more of the categories league specialist. So I think putting our heads together, it really helped throughout the season to make decisions and put our lineups together, and it all worked out in the end, and we ended up winning. I think actually we won in the championship against another guy that has a podcast that only lives about 30 minutes away from me. So
you were talking to him. Hey,
small world.
One thing though that I couldn't stand about you two were Sixto Sanchez. You guys held on to this guy all year. What was I saying? Let him go already. Let him go. I'm like, you guys were holding on. Well, come on, dude. Like seriously, nah. You guys should have listened.
That's the thing.
But we still won it. It doesn't matter. We still won it.
But now, if it was a 12-team league, I would have dropped him a long time ago. But in a 16-team league where pitching is just so scarce on the waiver wire and free agency,
he had a shoulder problem though. That's what I kept telling you. What happened?
But who knew how long? I mean, look at DeGrom. DeGrom has had shoulder problems for a long time,
and he didn't pitch the last month of the season, right?
Yeah, but he pitched the first 3 months.
He missed a lot of baseball. What's going on with Tony, man? He's putting over their emoji faces. I don't know what that means. I'm old fashioned, man. I don't understand what you're saying, Tony. Just tell us what you mean, man.
Old fashioned? You just mean old.
Yeah, I'm old. It's all right. It's all right. And
All right,
getting
man.
older.
Let's get this party started. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
ahead and open up this beer. That
Yeah. Well, go ahead and do that because you're the one with the trophy. Hate you. Like I like it. It's a pretty cool cup. Look at that. Oh,
It really
are you gonna drink it all at once or what?
Oh, you know it, man.
Oh, damn. I can't do that. Don't don't
right.
spill it.
Here we go. We are the champions.
We are the champions. You want me to play the song for you, or is that cool? Man, really? Oh shit, he did it. All right.
Thank you, guys.
There you go. So we're gonna send that over to them so they can put it in the little video, I think, or something like that, right? You all right? You want to burp it out?
Coming.
You're good. Oh, you're good. All right. So let's go ahead and get started, man. 3 pitchers, 3 hitters, outside 200.
All right.
So these are players that are not going to get drafted in first maybe 15 rounds or 14 rounds.
Well, if you figure
depends on what
12-team league and there's 21 rounds for
let me do the math.
whole league. Yeah. So it's pretty close. It's about like 260 players total.
Yeah.
So you're getting towards the end of the draft. It's like after round 20 that you're really talking about guys that could potentially be league winners for you. You know, there's guys like Austin Riley and Cedric Mullins that didn't get drafted at all, or they got drafted super late in 2021. And those are the guys that helped a lot of team owners win their leagues last year. So to get into it, you know, the first guy that I have used to be a big time player, an all-star, and plays in Colorado. He had a really down season in 2021. This guy that I'm talking about, current ADP is number 217 overall, and that's Charlie Blackman.
Oh,
yeah, Charlie Blackman, dude. I know he's a little bit on the older side.
Yeah,
he's entering his age 36 season, but he has one thing in his corner that most teams don't, and that's that he plays in Colorado.
That's what I'm about to say. Like, yeah, that's Colorado, man. Even I can hit over there.
Colorado, you know, you can't take that away from a guy, and you know, a lot of
take it away.
Don't like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize this, but you know, even though Charlie Blackman had a somewhat of a down season in 2021, he actually underperformed all of his. There it is.
Damn. We're gonna.
He actually underperformed
out.
all of his expected stats. You know, so I'm just gonna go over a couple things. His batting average in 2021 was 270, which is still not bad. 2020, 270 batting average is higher than league average. 13 home runs, that was pretty low. 76 runs and 78 RBI. And a big contributor to his runs and his runs being so low was that Arenado's not on the team anymore. He didn't have that big bat in the lineup to kind of drive him in.
Yeah.
So, you know, going into his expected stats, so for those of you that don't know, you can go onto a website called Baseball Savant, and they track all of the balls that each player hits, and they'll tell you what his expected batting average was, expected slug percentage, all of his expected stats compared to his stats that he actually accrued. So his 270.
What was the website again?
Baseball Savant.
Baseball Savant.
So his 270 batting average, his expected batting average was actually 292. So he underperformed his expecting batting average by a lot, dude. Mm-hmm. If he would have hit 292, which was expected, instead of his 270, he probably would have had closer to 90 runs and 90 RBI. Probably would have had a few more home runs in there as well. Maybe reaching even 20, you know, but another thing that it could have happened also is the league was saying that they mixed a few different type of balls into each stadium. They didn't disclose which stadiums got which balls.
Yeah.
and or if it was just at random or whatever it was. But you know, there's certain players that took advantage of a juice ball, and there's other players that didn't have that advantage. And maybe Charlie Blackman was just one of those. Maybe Coors Field is just one of those stadiums that only received the new ball, which was a little bit more squishy. It wasn't as hard. So balls.
But you still think that he's going to do good, even though Trevor Story hasn't even signed with Colorado. We don't even know where he's going to sign because there's a lot of free agents out there, and we don't even know where they're going to go yet.
Yeah, losing Trevor Story is going to be huge, but I feel like there's a lot of good players still on the Rockies that are just not shining like they should be. Ryan McMahon, Brendan Rodgers, there's still good guys in that lineup. And Charlie Blackman, whether he's hitting leadoff or number 2, he should score a lot of runs, especially if he gets those expected stats up to his real stats.
Gotcha.
So slugging percentage, his slugging percentage was 411. His expected slug was 457. And that right there is actually what makes me think that they were using the new balls, the squishier balls in Colorado.
Gotcha.
Because if his slugging percentage was just a little bit higher, that's what would have given him a couple extra home runs. You know, cool. a 20 home run guy is much more valuable than a 13 home run guy.
Gotcha. So let's move on to the next guy, man. Let's you want to do a pitcher, or you want to go ahead and do all your hitters?
I'll go my 3 hitters first. And my next hitter is going a little bit later than Charlie Blackman. We're talking about a rookie. That's Joe Adell. And Joe Adell, great outfielder, great pedigree. Minor league numbers are just insane. He's going to be an everyday player for the Angels. And I think that that's really going to help Ohtani stay out of the field, because we saw Ohtani play right field a couple of times last season.
Yeah.
And I think that they have to stay away from that to try to keep Ohtani healthy. And one of the ways they're going to do that is by keeping Joe Adell healthy. I don't know if you saw Joe Adell kind of got hurt in the beginning. I want to say within spring training also. So he was out for a little bit, but
did he make it to the season? I don't remember. I remember the injury, but I don't remember him playing with the Angels. I remember in spring training.
He got injured in spring training, so he never made it to the main roster in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, because he was supposed to be a big player for the Angels and a game changer almost for them, because I think he's going to be leadoff, definitely. Right?
He's probably going to be a leadoff hitter unless his power production is just crazy, because if you look at his AAA numbers in 2021, he only played 73 games, but he hit 23 home runs.
Yeah.
In 73 games, that's huge, dude.
I think he hit a home run in that spring training against the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium in the Freeway Series before the season started. So I think he got injured. I think he got injured in that series, and that I don't remember seeing him after that. So it sucked. Like going into the season and getting injured in the spring training sucks. But if you're saying he's going to be one of those top players that you need to look for, this guy is not really known to anybody. So you could probably even pick him up like even after the draft.
He might not even get drafted. He might not even get drafted overall.
Exactly.
But
honestly, the way he plays, I saw him play. He's one of those players where you're like, dang, this guy's going to be good.
Yeah. This guy is probably not going to get drafted in a 12-team standard 3 outfielder league. Anything more than that, he's probably going to get drafted like a 5 outfielder league or 14 team or higher. But if you're in a 12-team league, this is definitely a guy that could be a potential game changer for you. Get this guy in the last round, second to last round, or the last round. He also has a lot of stolen base potential. So in points leagues, a stolen base is only 1 point, so it doesn't impact his overall value that much. But in a categories league, you're always trying to find stolen bases. There's not a lot of guys out there that are going to steal 50 bags anymore. So you go for the guys that are going to steal 15 to 20 and try to accumulate those guys overall. Unless you get a guy like Tatis or Trey Turner, Ronald Acuna, if he's even going to run, because he tore his meniscus, last season. So we don't even know if he's going to run, but a lot of these guys don't run anymore. Bryce Harper doesn't steal bases anymore. Mike Trout doesn't steal bases anymore. Charlie Blackman doesn't steal bases anymore. Trevor Story's stolen bases went down a little bit. So you're not getting that production from a lot of these players anymore. So getting a guy like this in the late round, he had 8 stolen bases in 73 games in AAA. So if the Angels let him run, which we see Ohtani run, so why wouldn't they let Joe Adell run? If we see him run and he plays 150 games or whatever it is, he has like 30-20 potential. He could hit 30 home runs and 20 stolen bases. Yeah. And that's the type of guy that probably the following season would go in the 2nd or 3rd round.
There you go. Well, this guy we can pick him up after the draft is over.
I'm targeting that guy. I'm trying to get him in every league that I can.
All right. Well, that's good to know. Good thing that I play with you, and maybe you gave the information to the wrong guy. All right, man. Let's go move on to the 3rd player, and don't disappoint on this one. So Tony's over there saying that Renfroe to the Red Sox, and oh no, Schwarber. I think he's a free agent. Tony, what the hell are you talking about? All right, let's move on, man.
Yeah, Schwarber should be a free agent. So this 3rd player that I'm talking about that Tony and I were really high on last season, but unfortunately this guy tears his meniscus, and then he has an oblique strain, and then he has a bone bruise in his right knee, and then the Yankees trade for Anthony Rizzo, and it completely devalued the rest of his season. Luke Voigt is going number 240 overall in most drafts. 240 overall. That means that he's probably not even getting drafted. After his 2020 season, where you see him lead the league in home runs, and he still has a great batting average, great eye at the plate, great plate discipline, this is a guy that should not be going outside the top 200. Now, I understand that he had a lot of issues in 2021, and he's had issues in previous seasons, but why wouldn't you want to gamble on a guy that literally has 60 home run potential? There's no,
you're saying 60?
This guy could hit 60 home runs in a season.
Maybe in Yankee Stadium.
He hit 22. Exactly. He hit 22 home runs in 2020 when there were only 60 games. He was on a freaking tear, man. And if this guy plays, especially with the DH in Yankee Stadium, between him and Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton and Gary Sanchez, all playing DH. I mean, he doesn't necessarily
strikeout galore right there. You just named a bunch of strikeouts.
Yeah, I mean, that's like 1,000 strikeouts between those 4 guys. But still, who cares when you're going to hit 60 home runs? This guy has 60 home run potential. He doesn't do anything else, and that's fine because when you get a guy at number 240 in the draft, and he's going to hit 60 home runs for you, that is a game changer right there. That is a league winner. There is no way that this guy should be going outside the top 150.
Yeah. So damn, dude. I don't know about that one. I wouldn't draft them. I mean, you say they probably won't even get drafted.
Well, so
you're probably right though. If he was probably playing hurt, what was it, the 2021 season? He didn't start off to a great start.
Even towards the end of the season in 2020, he was playing with plantar fasciitis, which I have, and it freaking sucks.
I think I have that too, because when I step down out of the bed, I feel like old man. Like I could barely walk. I feel like I'm walking on glass. Like,
is it your heel?
The heel, man.
It might be, dude. It
both
might be
sides too. Yeah. It's like, oh my god.
It's usually in both feet. For me, it's majority on the left foot. It's really bad, especially because working on the concrete floors at work, and then coming home and just sitting down for a little bit, dude. Yeah. When I get up and I try to go to the bathroom or something, it's literally like I'm walking on a bed of nails. It sucks. Sucks. Like, damn, did my kid leave his Legos out or what?
Hey, Tony's saying over there that he better be juicing now. So.
Exactly. That's another thing, man. Forget 60, he's gonna hit 100.
He said 60 is crazy though, but he wants him on his team. You need to come on here so you can battle Will on this topic, because he has pretty good picks actually. To be honest, I think Luke Voigt might not go super early, or people that do know about him be like, oh, I'm gonna pick him, and we're gonna be like, what, really? But with baseball, you never know. You never know when these players are gonna show up and put up numbers. We just said earlier in the show that there's no going to be no drug test, so that means they're going to be able to do whatever they want, and no one's going to do anything about it. So,
well, potentially, unless another deal with the drug and administration has.
All that's at halt because of that, right? All that's in halt because of the lockdown.
Exactly.
Let's go
another thing that I wanted to also add about the Yankees is just keep an eye on if they do sign another first baseman, because they're actually going after Freddie Freeman. And if the Yankees end up signing Freddie Freeman, what happens to Luke Voigt?
DH?
I don't think he's going to be on the Yankees much longer if they get another first baseman.
Trade bait.
What do the Yankees need?
Pitching.
They need a shortstop.
Nah,
Gleyber Torres is garbage, dude.
They could deal with that. They need pitching. They need pitching. They got enough. They have enough.
They need their pitching to stay healthy, but they have a lot of really good pitching, especially if Garrett Cole pitches like he should.
If they go after Kershaw, would you be disappointed?
Nah.
So imagine Kershaw and a Yankee in their front.
I'm not necessarily loyal to particular players. I'm loyal to.
Oh, of course not. I don't have a jersey that has a name on my back. I don't have none. The only one I have is a Jackie Robinson jersey and Sandy Koufax, and it doesn't even have their last name on there. Well, so I wear my jerseys to represent the team in the front, not in the back. So I just want to put that out there. So I would love Kershaw to finish his career here. Why not in LA? But I think the Yankees are going to go after him, and they're going to go after him pretty hard, just like they're going to do with Freddie Freeman. So, can you see that happening? Maybe. And then, the value for Freddie Freeman, is going to go up there. But that's another topic for another day. Let's go ahead and move on to pitching. Who is the 3 players that you suggest that you should go ahead and pick up in the later rounds after 200 picks? And, just tell us who you got.
All right. So my first guy, his current ADP is 212, and that's Patrick Sandoval. And
who?
Exactly. This guy's going to go undrafted. He's a pitcher for the Houston Astros.
Okay.
So Patrick Sandoval, he has a pretty decent arsenal. He throws a four seam, a changeup, a slider, a curveball, and a sinker. He doesn't throw his sinker very often, but when he does, batting average against is only 250. So that's a pretty decent pitch. His fastball is actually his Achilles heel. I think he throws that 24% of the time, which is his second most used pitch, and his batting average against his fastball is 282. So guys are just teeing off his fastball. But then if you look at his changeup, his changeup is crazy filthy, dude. It has so much drop on it. He throws it 29.6% of the time. So it's a third of his pitches, and the batting average against is only a 139. So this guy,
where did you find this guy? What the hell?
Patrick Sandoval.
How do I not know about this guy?
I keep an eye on all these guys, man. Come on.
Oh my God.
So
I feel like I'm getting schooled right now.
This guy, he throws his fastball so much in the zone. That is the biggest issue for him. I think that if he just uses his changeup as his number one pitch, which it seems like he already does, throws it 30% of the time, he throws his fastball a little bit too much, and it's always high and in the zone. If he can just increase his fastball command, throw it a little bit outside the zone or inside pitches where it's just barely clipping the zone, or even inside a little bit, get these guys to swing and miss or pop up the ball. That changeup, they're saying that his changeup could be better than Luis Castillo's, and Luis Castillo's changeup is number one in the league, they say. Yeah. So if this guy could just figure out his fastball, he could literally be lights out. This guy, in my opinion, in a few seasons from now, he has Cy Young potential.
Oh man, he's calling it right now. I haven't seen the guy, so I can't, confirm. I can't concur or I can't deny. what Will is saying, but if he's saying it and he's seen the stats and everything, then go ahead and do that. Let's move on to number 2, man. Pitching.
Well,
Oh,
another
you still
thing
have
too.
more.
Well, I just wanted to add also, he does have a lights out slider, which guys are only batting 188 against.
Wait, is he a lefty or a righty?
I believe he's a lefty.
Have you seen him pitch?
Yes.
You
I
have?
watched him pitch because, you know, every time I watch the Dodgers play the Astros, I try to watch every single game.
Oh, so he was in the big leagues already.
Yeah.
How the hell did I not? All right. I guess I'm not watching baseball anymore.
Well, he's in the bullpen a lot too. He's in and out. He's a really young guy, so he's in and out of the bullpen. So
Okay.
that guy, he's probably going to be a starter next season. I would imagine that his workload is going to increase. I want to say he pitched less than 100 innings last season.
Yeah, I think Greinke's out of that roster.
Greinke's on a free agents. They signed Justin Verlander for another 3 years, but how many innings is Justin Verlander actually going to pitch after just recovering from Tommy John surgery?
Man, he's an Iron
He hasn't
Man.
pitched in a major league game since then.
He's an Iron Man. He's gonna go for it. He's gonna. When you're older, you have you can do whatever you want. You're right. All right,
And
man.
he has his wife Kate to come home to and nurse him back to health, right?
Yeah, I guess so. That's what it is. That's his medicine. Let's go ahead to number 2, man. Who's number 2?
Number 2, I think Tony's gonna like this one a lot, and this guy's going number 216 overall, and we haven't seen this guy in Major League Baseball we saw him for about a month and a half, 2 months, and there was a big scandal that apparently he likes to punch vaginas. So that's Trevor Bauer, man. Trevor Bauer. So he's already been acquitted of all charges. There's no criminal charges.
Oh, if the glove didn't fit.
Yeah, apparently. So he's already been acquitted of all criminal charges. There's nothing kind of happened to this guy. He's obviously still going to get suspended.
We don't know yet because there's a lockdown. So what I've been looking at and been looking into the baseball conduct code, and I guess it's every player has to have a contract that they have to behave and they have to be able to do that. So with that said, I feel like he's going to be suspended a certain amount of time, not maybe the whole season, but there's no way this guy's going to get paid to be suspended. And he got suspended pretty much the full season last year, right?
Well, he didn't really get suspended. He was on administrative leave, so he was still getting paid.
Yeah, okay, we'll call it that, right? But he was getting paid. Now, do you think that the Dodgers are gonna want to pay him another full year without, finding a way to get their money back? Like, if they can go ahead and get away from paying him the money that he's owed this season, and they can find a way to do it, you don't think they'll try to do it so they can spend that money on other players? Don't get me wrong, Trevor Bauer is a good player. He pitches good. He's a Cy Young, even though it was a 60 game season. He pitched lights out. I agree with you on picking him up. What is it, 216 you said?
216.
Yeah. So hopefully he doesn't get injured, because the Dodgers do need him on that roster. They do need him on that rotation because he wants to pitch every fourth day, right? So that's another thing for a fantasy player that wants to look out for those pitchers that pitch more often. So if he does, and MLB doesn't suspend them, then I agree with you, Will. I think it's a great pick. I don't think he's going to go undrafted. I think he's going to go way before that. I think he's going to go before 216. I think he's going to go probably like in the 5th or 6th round. Why? Because it's Trevor Bauer. It's a really, really well-known name. Who's not going to know that? I'm pretty sure he's going to go even probably in the 3rd round, just because it's Trevor Bauer. We've been hearing Trevor Bauer out there. You might not pick him up because he missed the whole season, but have you looked at his YouTubes? He's been pitching. He hasn't stopped pitching.
Right.
He hasn't stopped pitching the
he hasn't
players.
stopped his workout.
Exactly. So he's on it. He's still on it. He's still young. He's still throwing 93, 94. He's still out there. He's still throwing his changeups, his sliders, and everything. So, yeah, like I said, might go 3, 4th round. 216 is way off the charts for him, I think.
Exactly.
And I think Tony would agree with me. And I mean, I don't know if you agree, Will, but if he does go to a 16, like, damn, more power to you. Like, pick him up like in the 8th round.
I think the reason why he's going that late right now is because he's unknown. A lot of people don't know what's going to happen with this guy. Now, obviously, he's going to get suspended.
Yeah, that's what it is.
He's going to get suspended for sure. But until we actually get like a concrete number of how long he's going to be suspended, it's like think about any other Cy Young candidate, that type of pitcher. Let's say Robbie Ray, just won the Cy Young. If he was going to get suspended for 30 games next season, how far back would you push his draft position?
But that's only 5. That's probably 4 or 5 starts because he's a pitcher.
Exactly. So you're going to miss the beginning of the season. But who cares about the beginning of the season? All you need to do is make the playoffs. And if you have that guy in the playoffs, that's what you're striving for. Like, there's so many guys that are on the injured list to begin the season. You put them in your IL slot and then you save them until your playoffs start, and then they could potentially win your league for you.
Yep. I know we gave a lot of information on Trevor Bauer, but we don't know what's going on with that guy. We don't know until the season starts, or if the season starts, or the lockdown gets too much ifs. And that's a good one, Will. I really, really appreciate you bringing up Trevor Bauer, because he did get acquitted from all his charges, and that's something to look forward to. As a Dodger fan, as a podcast that we have going here, and as a fantasy baseball player, it's good to know that we're bringing this guy up, because we don't know what the future holds for this guy and the value it has for you picking him up into your fantasy team. So we reached this point in the show. You reached number 2, number 3. We need the last one, man. And it better be a good one, because I'm writing them down.
Number 3 that is also not on a lot of other guys' radar, which Tony and I had in our leagues. I think I actually had him in 2 of my leagues, maybe even 3, and that's Joe Ryan. So Joe Ryan, he's a name that a lot of people don't know, but if you watched him pitch last year, he definitely deserves to be inside the top 200. There's no way that this guy should be going number 217 overall. He has a lot of strikeout potential on his fastball. He has great command. He has really, really good secondary pitches. He pretty much performed all of his expected stats. His expected and his actual stats were pretty neck and neck with each other. And this guy, I could see him being maybe a more 15th round type of player. So he's not the type of guy that's going to win your league for you or anything, but on that back end, when you're finally looking for your number 4 starting pitcher, your number 5 starting pitcher, Joe Ryan is a guy that I am definitely targeting in the later rounds.
Nice. And what team does he play for the people that don't know?
I want to say the Twins. A lot of times, these less known players, I go more just by their names, not really by their team. So
I was going to ask.
Yeah, he's on the Twins.
On the Twins, what draft pick did you mention that?
He is currently at number 217. I wouldn't mind taking him more around 150.
So right after Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
Wow. Dang. So he must be. Well, like we said, I think Trevor Bauer is going 216 because we don't know what the future holds for him, right?
Trevor Bauer, once they make a decision, if the Dodgers announce that Trevor Bauer is going to be a part of their rotation, I think he's going to be more of a 3rd or 4th round pick.
That's what I said. That's what she said. That's good, man. Anything else you want to say about any other player or any news on baseball? Because we have a little bit of time. And we have a platform to do it. Why not, right? I know we want to talk about baseball all night long, but we can't do that because unfortunately we got to go to sleep and got to go to work or got to do something else. But I know for sure that there's a lot of things that we probably didn't mention and you probably want to hear about, and we just want to go ahead and say it. Go ahead and write it down on our little message board here. We have the chat on. There's been quite a movement there, so I even though it's just Tony, but it's cool, we like that. And if there's someone new on there, go ahead and hit that like button and that subscribe button. We appreciate that. I kind of started a little nervous today, dude. I haven't done this in a while. It's kind of weird that I kind of hesitated on. I kind of lost my train of thought of what I was going to say. I was going to
You need
sound
to get back in that groove.
exactly. I was
How
going to say
Carlos
something
got his
different.
groove back.
Yeah. So remember we started talking about when we first started doing this. And I think I went back to that point where I said I wasn't that nervous back then, like I was today. So yeah, it's just funny. It's just funny. I kind of blinked out, man. Anything else you want to say, Will, before we go ahead and log out? Because I know there's
Anthony. I'm reading his name on there. Tony just said John Gray from the Nationals, but John Gray just got signed by the Rangers. So
who was it? A minor league contract?
I don't know why he said Nationals. No, it was before the lockout.
Oh, okay.
But there was one thing that Tony is right on the chat over here, though. I said the Astros, my mistake. I meant the Angels. Patrick Sandoval, pitcher for the Angels.
Can we boo this man? Boo. Wrong. That's
I saw the orange in your background, and I don't know why.
I was just like, what the Astros? Like, I don't remember that name, period. I wouldn't be able to tell you if he was with the Angels or the Astros. I don't remember
it's definitely a name that you should learn, because you definitely want to get this guy on your team.
Tony just said Carlos Carrasco, the cookie man, or whatever you called him, Tony. What about him, man? And then he says no, the other way.
Dude, Carlos Carrasco has actually he could be another one that's a late round pick that you could get in your later drafts that could also be very beneficial for your team. A number 3, number 4 starting pitcher in your rotation. I don't know if he still has RP eligibility. I think he was primarily used as a starting pitcher last year. But if he does have RP eligibility, that increases his value a lot, especially in points leagues.
Okay. Well, I think we reached the point where we have nothing else to tell you guys.
He's saying Josiah Gray from the Nationals, not John Gray.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Josiah Gray is good. I don't know what his current ADP is. I must have missed him if he was after the 200, but he's a good honorary mention.
Sweet. Well, what's up, man? You want to log off now since we don't have anything else to say, and we don't have, like I said, I don't know what happened to me today.
I did have some other stuff I wanted to talk about. I have a couple more, but we can save that for next show.
Yeah, we can save that. Maybe we can have an argument between you and Tony, depending what day we get on, because this guy's always stuck on traffic and he can never make it to the show. So yeah, whoops. There you go.
Yeah, I do want to give a little preview for our next episode. The two guys that I want to highlight is one guy that we saw last year that I was really high on for the whole year, and that's Jonathan India. That's one guy that I definitely want to talk about next time. And another guy that a lot of people don't even know this name, but it's a guy that you should watch out for, and that's O'Neal Cruz.
Gotcha.
So both of those guys, that's who I want to highlight for next episode.
We'll talk about those guys next week, and we'll talk about, hopefully we're going to start doing this every week now, or we're going to start,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I should have every Saturday off from now on. So Friday nights are good for me.
All right. So we can go a little bit later so we can have this man come and argue with you. And we can do that going forward. Maybe we can have the new guy. I'm not going to say his name. And don't say his name, Will. I was about to say it. That's crazy.
Just call him Professor X.
Professor X. There you go. Well, thank you guys for listening to us. I'm super nervous still, man. Well, anyway, if we don't have nothing else to say, I guess.
Another thing I wanted to say. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Damn, really?
I just want to let everyone know that I just won the Fantasy Football League as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I am a 2-time champion for 2021. Actually, a 3-time champion because I won a different league also in baseball in 2021.
Yeah, 2020. Oh, you won another one in 2021 in somewhere else, or in this league?
No, what the other league that I was in that you guys weren't a part of, just a buddy league.
Okay. Well, I won one too, but I don't know if it counts. I don't think they know about football. So They just wanted to do a fantasy football, and I'm like, yeah, I can do that. So I just won a little bit of money there. So why not?
Nice.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
a
I don't
little bit
count
of
it.
money is better than no money.
Yeah, but I don't count it because I don't think they know anything about football. Like, come on, dude. It's just like, really? You guys are picking these people up? Like, oh man. As soon as the draft started, I'm like, oh man, I got this. All right. So we don't have anything else to say for you guys. Thank you guys for being here. I promise it's gonna get better. I won't say a lot, and I won't there you go again. Be nervous. I'm Carlos Baseball. This is Willpower, Real Talk Baseball, signing out.
See you guys.